Hi, welcome to the second installment of the Bible ASMR videos that I'm working on creating. It's early in the morning. I have my coffee. And I have the project I've been working on. So, this is the Bible that I'm marking up, and today I wanted to go over the verses on stealing. So, questions I could talk to my children about. What is it called when you take something from someone? Do you truly need what you have taken? And then I can ask my kids, what is your greatest need? And how has God provided for you? And then the prayer that's included with this is, Lord, help my child not to take pride in his possessions, but to lay up treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Thank you, Jesus, for graciously giving so much through your love. And so the focus here is on helping kids to reflect on what they really need and how they are provided for. They don't feel the need to steal. The verses right here. Sorry for the glare. Not sure how to mitigate that. Today I have my iPhone precariously perched on a glass fruit bowl. So it's not quite as high as it needs to be, but it'll have to do until I figure out something better. So this is actually, I'm coming near the end of my project. Well, I'm not even sure I should let that, yeah. So I've done all the way through here, and now I'm going to start over here. And I need color green. And I'll need the green tabs. So I have my green tabs and my green highlighter and my coffee, which is very important. Since I'm not good at going to bed on time. Exodus 20:15. Pretty early on. Okay, this is sort of random, but we have a lot of different copies of the Bible in our house, and they all have marriages and family trees and kingdoms to their births and deaths. And I don't think we've ever written in any of them. I think it's people used to have their family Bible and they record all that stuff, and I think it's such a great idea, but I'm bad about recording things. I even forgot. My husband and I both got our anniversary date wrong when we had not been married very long, I think, and we knew our anniversary was coming up, and we were having a discussion with friends, and we both had it wrong, and one of our friends had the right date. So we sort of need externalized memory of events. Now we can never blame each other for forgetting our anniversary, so I think, that's a benefit. So, not surprisingly, the very first verse in Exodus comes from the Ten Commandments. You shall not steal. That's pretty simple. Not what to say about that. I think some of the ideas are more complicated. This one is pretty simple. Make sure I'm lining this up correctly. Next is Leviticus 6:2-5. Almost there. I think these are stuck together. There we go. Please don't rip. There we go. Okay. So Leviticus 6:2-5. When a person sins and acts unfaithfully against the Lord and deceives his companion in regard to a deposit or security entrusted to him, or through robbery, or if he is extorted from his companion, or has found what was lost and lied about it and sworn falsely, so that he sins in regard to any one of the things a man may do, then it shall be, when he sins and becomes guilty, that he shall restore what he took by robbery, or what he got by extortion, or the deposit which was entrusted to him, or the lost thing which he found, or anything about which he has sworn falsely. He shall make restitution for it in full, and add to it 1/5 more. Okay. I think that's about how to give restitution against those we've wronged. So, when a person sins and acts unfaithfully against the Lord and deceives his companion in regard to a deposit or a security entrusted to him, or through robbery, or if he is extorted from his companion, or has found what was lost and lied about it, and sworn falsely, so that he sins in regard to any one of the things a man may do, then it shall be, when he sins and becomes guilty, that he shall restore what he took by robbery, or what he got by extortion, or the deposit which was entrusted to him, or the lost thing which he has found, or anything about which he has sworn falsely. He shall make restitution for it in full, and add to it 1/5 more. It's kind of helpful to think about how to make right what you've made wrong. And it does seem like a measured response, not cutting off the hand of somebody who steals, giving them opportunity to make restoration. Psalm 119, verse 36 is next. I think, yes. Psalm 119, verse 36. Just go over the ways. Psalm 119. very, very long acrostic poem. Wait, that's not. Yes, it is. Sorry. In the middle of it. Again, page I want. Incline my heart to your testimonies and not to dishonest gain. So that's prayer. It's funny, I was trying to teach my son when he was 2 at that point, about avoiding temptation. And I said, if you want to do something that you know you shouldn't, you should look away, sing a song, distract yourself. And I think giving the tool, right, to pray when we are tempted, because I think we are all tempted to dishonest gain. I think with lie detector tests for adults, one of the questions they are supposedly supposed to ask, at least in movies, I don't know in reality, is, have you ever stolen anything? Because most people have stolen something, taken something that wasn't theirs, and then feel ashamed of it. So that is a common desire in the human heart. Proverbs 20:17. Not too far away. Like my fingers are not awake this morning. Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing because my husband likes to use this verse as a way of talking about taking verses out of context. So, bread obtained by falsehood is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. So, the consequences of stealing taste sweet at first, but later it is not satisfying and rather harmful. But he likes to use the first half of the verse. Bread obtained by falsehood is sweet to a man. At least I think it's this verse. I am not actually as familiar with this translation, so it may be unfortunate that I chose. I think this is the New American Standard. Yeah. This is the New American Standard translation. I happened to have this on hand, and it wasn't one I had been working on, and it was the right size. It's a little bit less accessible for kids, so I should have thought that out a little bit more, but that's okay. Better to do something. Oh, I just realized this has 2 green highlights on one page, which happens. In that case, I'm supposed to write what each one is related to. So, verse 2017 is about stealing. And the other is laziness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle man will suffer hunger. So this is about laziness. So I don't get confused later. Okay. The next verse is Matthew chapter 6, 19 through 21, and there's another from the same chapter right after. So let's go to the New Testament. Almost there. Okay. So Matthew 6, 19 through 20. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Okay. Let's look at my highlighter. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And then also verse 24, a little further down the page. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. God and mammon, I think, is the other translation. Another translation. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. This feeling that I may have forgotten to tab the last verse. I have Psalms is the last one I did. Let's go back and find Proverbs 19 again. No, Proverbs 20. Oh, quickly this time. Okay, so First Timothy 6. Oh no, Ephesians. Sorry. I'm near the end, but not quite there. For stealing. Ephesians 4:28 is what I'm Ephesians 4 and 28. It's right here. Okay. He who steals must steal no longer, but rather he must labor, performing with his own hands what is good, so that he will have something to share with one who has need. I remember talking with a friend about this because she's looking for work and disappointed that the job market has been so bad and that the work she's finding hasn't been of the prestige that she would like. And this is really all God says, right? We work, we should perform with our own hands what is good, so that we have something to share with one who has need. So it's not even necessarily for our personal enrichment. We should work, we should labor at things that are good, and in addition to meeting our own needs so we don't have to steal, we should be doing it with the thought of sharing with those who are in need. Verses like this that are really helpful when we're budgeting. I think especially when I was single, no kids, and then we had 2 incomes and no kids, and now we have 1 income plus a little when I work part-time, and 2 children, which isn't that much. I have friends with many more kids. My husband makes a comfortable income, but I find as we budget, sometimes my tendency is to suddenly become less generous. But really, I want to budget so that we can be generous, so that we're not wasting money on things that we don't need to, that we're not spending thoughtlessly, but so that we can show hospitality, so that we can give to missionaries and charities, and even we have friends and other people who have needs, and we want to have wiggle room in our budget so that we can lend or give when the needs come up. So we don't want to spend to the outer limit of our budget. What looks like my time is almost up. I would hate to have the alarm go off, but I need to get my kids up pretty soon. Okay. The last verse is 1 Timothy 6, 9 through 10.